Christianity has dominated the earth for centuries, bringing with it reverence and scrutiny through the ages. Countless secrets and hidden mysteries often have Christianity at their heart, especially ancient and medieval manuscripts and intrigues. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at several mysteries and discoveries surrounding religion. Details of Jesus' bloodline. The story of Jesus Christ is one of the most well-known across the planet. His miracles, crucifixion, and resurrection are all some of the most famous narratives of human culture, but whilst you might think the story is complete from start to finish, with the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John documenting Jesus' life from birth to death to subsequent resurrection. However, there is a large part of Jesus' life that is distinctly missing from the accounts of Jesus' story. From the time Jesus was 8 years old until he was in his early 30s, there is a significant gap in his biography. The exception is located in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 41 to 51, tells of when a 12-year-old Jesus travelled to Jerusalem with his parents to celebrate Passover. Aside from that, there is nothing else. No detail about Jesus' early years, such as his schooling or childhood friends, or his life as a young adult. This is until now. An ancient manuscript around 1500 years old has been unearthed at the British Library with surprising revelations about Jesus' life in the interim. With such astounding claims in such an early authenticated document, this is something that could certainly have more documents to back it up in the Vatican secret archives. Even with the Vatican having such documents in their possession, however, these chronicles of Jesus' early life would never see the light of day due to their shocking claims. According to this lost gospel of Jesus, the would-be Messiah became engaged, got married, and went on to not only have sexual relations, but also produce children. Arguably, there is nothing theologically troublesome about Jesus getting married. It's not as if the Bible rules that out. What is more controversial is the idea of Jesus having a bloodline that still exists today. And that's something the Vatican would want to keep hidden in its secret archives. The Lost Gospel writes that Jesus and Mary Magdalene produced a daughter, with further pages suggesting the birth of a second child. This document led to deeper investigations beyond the text, with scholars trying to piece together Jesus' subsequent bloodlines. Two of the most prominent researchers believe 13 generations of Jesus' descendants existed in Britain before the times of King Arthur, and that being the case means the descendants of the Son of God are not limited to just a few people, but are many and widely spread amongst us. Research continues to this day. Sister Maria's letter to the devil. The year was 1676. Sister Maria Crocefissa della Concezione was living in a convent in southern Italy, in modern-day Parma di Montechiaro. A New Zealand author visiting Parma di Montechiaro in the 1960s described it as a place of spectacular poverty. He wrote, "The cavernous streets are scored by serpentines of black feces and other matter, and a veil of chalky dust pollutes the air. From the main road the whole plaster town tilts downwards, as though arrested in a macabre lunge towards the sea. Once I drove through with a woman companion. She looked once and screamed. She did not speak again until we were some distance outside the township." One can imagine that Sister Maria's austere life in the convent was not much more joyous than the author's description. Nuns in the 1600s took a vow to live simply in poverty as a way of serving God. They arose early and spent much of their day in silence, praying or participating in manual labour. With the classic long tunic and veil, convents seemed to be full of silent brides of Christ, conducting the work of prayer and protecting the souls of their fellow Catholics. On a quiet, warm morning like any other, Sister Maria's fellow nuns rose early to begin cleaning and cooking for the day. Maria, however, did not get up on time. She had spent the last night screaming and muttering to herself, in the throes of something the likes of which she had never experienced. Travelling to her room, her sisters were shocked to find her on the floor, her face completely covered in ink. She was holding a mysterious, indecipherable note. The symbols were nothing like anyone had seen before. All she would say was that the letter was written by the devil himself. The writing was a mixture of strange symbols and arcane icons, and no one could decipher it. It is not known what happened to Sister Maria, but the message she recorded has survived the ages. For the past 300 years, Lucifer's message to Christians has remained untranslated. In 2018, thanks to Italian researchers who utilized a new piece of software discovered on the dark web, part of Sister Maria's message has been decoded. By inputting a wide range of languages into the software, researchers were able to unscramble the ancient code. The letter is said to describe God and Jesus as dead weights invented by man. It claims that religion benefits no one, and that God cannot free mortals. It even references the river Styx, which in Greek mythology is a river that separates the realm of the living from the underworld. The team of scientists suggested that Sister Maria suffered from a mental illness such as schizophrenia, which often presents with religious insanity and images of the devil. However, this is only an educated guess. We can never truly understand what drove Sister Maria insane. The Weeping Statues. Hobbs is a small town in New Mexico on the edge of the vast Chihuahuan Desert. The sweeping vistas make a gorgeous backdrop for the many churches, including Our Lady of Guadalupe. The church itself has a modest interior with a classic aisle and altar, which provides services in English and Spanish. Its highlight is undoubtedly the brass statue of Our Lady herself, from which the church takes its name. She is rendered in gold with a green shawl and a wreath of rays behind her. But the decoration is not what makes her unique. In May 2018, the statue of Our Lady began to weep. Since at least the 1600s, Catholics have reported statues of Virgin Mary that appear to spontaneously weep. These crying statues have been reported all over the world, in France, Italy, the US, and more. One of the earliest recorded instances of Mary's statue weeping was in 1643. The population of Rottweiler, Germany, was under siege from the French. 42 men and women crowded into the church, begging God for salvation. As they spoke to Mary, they saw a miracle. Her eyes appeared to move back and forth, and she wept. Catholics and non-Catholics alike witnessed the spectacle. Nearly 400 years later, Mary continues to weep. In 2003, a Bangladeshi statue in a glass case began to weep, drawing thousands of onlookers. In 2017, a statue in Telangana, India, dripped red liquid from the eyes. Back in Hobbs, New Mexico, the Our Lady statue cried for over a month. Onlookers gathered to pay respects, and as they did, they noticed a strong smell. Upon examination, the liquid turned out to be a mixture of oil and balsam called the sacred chrism, the fragrant mixture which is used for anointment and ceremonial purposes within the church. The statue was closely examined, including the hollow interior, but no source of the liquid was found. As quickly as Mary's tears appeared, they dried up. By the end of July 2018, she was no longer weeping, yet the oil mixture returned months later in September. Despite a lack of formal acknowledgement from church authorities, Our Lady of Guadalupe continues to draw crowds today, desperate to see her cry. But what do you make of these mysteries and discoveries surrounding religion? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.